if PJ Gladnick.
Scott, could you just say that name one more time, please?
If PJ Gladnick.
Yes! Yes! So why did Scott Adams just say my name? It was because of my viral video that was posted on Thursday about Amy Klobuchar very reluctantly revealing something about her husband. And of course, I found the audio from an interview with Michael Smerconish from early April. So now, let's watch a little more as Scott Adams, and by the way, he's the, in case you didn't know, you should, he's the creator of the Dilbert cartoon. But let's watch as Scott Adams describes why this is hilariously and ridiculously awkward for poor Amy Klobuchar. So take it away, Scott.
Right, so I just want to talk about this again because it's so much fun. But giving credit to Gateway Pundit, who got it from, let's see, PJ Gladnick at the Citizens Free Press blog, who found this obscure little audio from a Michael Smerconish program, I don't know when it was, in which Amy Klobuchar had mentioned that she thinks her husband was on hydroxychloroquine and he recovered from the coronavirus. Now, that doesn't mean the hydroxychloroquine saved him or made a difference, but the awkwardness that puts her in is just sort of wonderful. Because you know that she's going to be asked about it.
Of course she should be asked about it, but I don't think too many mainstream reporters are going to be asking Amy about what I revealed in my video from Thursday. But for those of you who dare ask about it, don't forget to mention a certain name here, the person that found that audio. And now Scott Adams does a really good analysis about why this revelation changes the dynamic, at least for the vice presidential nomination for the Democrats in 2020, due to this revelation made by yours truly.
Now, let me take a poll here. So Klobuchar, of course, is in the news primarily because she's still on the short list for maybe vice presidential pick by Biden. Now, do you think there's anybody except Kamala Harris who's on the short list anymore? How many people now believe that Kamala Harris will be the vice presidential pick for Biden? In the comments, it'll take a minute for them to catch up to real time, but watch the comments and see how many of you think Kamala Harris is the likely vice presidential choice. In the comments, go. And I'll read them off for those listening to it. Me, yes. Me, not yet. Harris, yes. Me. Somebody says Stacey Abrams might. No, I do. Me, yes. Harris, yes. Not me, yes. Harris or Klobuchar. There is no question now for Harris. I guess so. Yep, of course. Yes. All right. So you can see now the trend. So at least, I don't know, 3/4 of you. Oh, there's a few more no's coming in. Oh, I'm still getting some no's on Kamala. All right, so here's my only point. Closer to maybe half or 60% maybe say yes for Kamala. Check your opinion today compared to what it was 2 years ago when I first started saying that Kamala Harris would be the likely presidential candidate, not the vice presidential candidate. But then I updated it when she withdrew. I updated it to the idea that she would be Biden's vice presidential choice, but really the real power behind the throne, so essentially the candidate. Did you not watch that go from the least likely thing you ever thought would happen to about 60% of you think it's a lock? Did you not watch that? that simulation conformed to what I told you it would do for 2 years. You watched reality slowly morph into the direction I told you it was going to go. Now, if I miss this, I'm going to be really disappointed. And I think there's at least a 50% chance that it's not Harris. And the 50% chance is just that gigantic wild card that nobody really is good at guessing vice presidential picks. It's just a category of thing that's the hardest thing. In fact, I've never gotten one right in the past. Every time I've ever tried to guess a vice presidential pick, I've gotten it wrong. I think 100% of the time I've been wrong. And it's because their selection looks pretty deeply into governors and people in important states, and then there's the vetting, and you don't know what they found out about any particular candidate. So in some ways, it's the most opaque thing in politics. It's the thing you know the least about before the actual pick happens. So I would say there's a 50% chance I'm wrong, but to get this close and have a 50% chance of being right, I mean, just my opinion is 50%, that's kind of weird, isn't it? It's kind of weird, you have to admit.
Scott, could you say my name just one more time, please?
If P.J. Gladnick